Busy day in the weather office with just a slug of moisture. We'll call it a slug of moisture moving out of the Gulf of Mexico and really just drenching southwest Florida. Rainfall amounts in some areas really astonishing, especially over sections of Collier County. Unofficially, in some spots, we got as much as 6 to 8 inches. That was down toward Marco Island. Everglades City, actually, somebody writing in and telling us they got 8 inches of rainfall. Now, let's show you some of the Doppler radar estimates. If you are curious about how much rain you picked up over the last 24 hours, check out this graphic here. Here's southwest Florida, or Lee County. Some of the outer islands getting as much as 3 inches of rain. And then if you look down into Collier County, from Naples down to Marco, Everglades City, this was really a spot that got a pretty good soaking throughout the day, especially during the morning hours. But the rain now starting to come to an end. Here's a look at the live radar. Here's Sanibel, south of Sanibel, a pretty big batch of rain here, barely moving, so I doubt we'll see this push ashore and affect any of the urban corridor. But as we head into Tuesday, we're going to see more of those tropical downpours, those splash and dash showers throughout the day. Probably a little more sunshine, though, compared to what we saw on Monday, so we don't expect it to be as widespread. Now, as we get into Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we expect some drier air, at least in the upper levels of the atmosphere, to move in. And that's not necessarily going to bring down the humidity levels. It'll still be muggy, but at least our rain chances should come down to around 20% for the second half of the week. Now, there is a sign, early indications pointing to the possibility of maybe our first, I don't know what to call it, a cool front, because it's just going to be a slight change, but it looks like we could at least see lows get down lower 70s, maybe upper 60s during the overnights, and maybe by the weekend we'll start to see a little bit of drop in humidity, but not ready to go to the bank with that just yet. Still a lot could change several days away, so we'll have to continue to monitor all the different forecasts, computer models.